There is an inherent brilliance when it comes to the delicate art of satire. Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven were able to utilize it throughout the Scream franchise. Joe Dante overloaded us with it in Gremlins 2. And even...
The stuff is here now. Great new day sensation. Light and free now. Gives you elevation. Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
The stuff, the taste that... Truly.
Hello friends, and welcome back to ETF. Director Larry Cohen takes us on a satirical journey into consumer culture and the food industry in The Stuff, which follows the horrors of a new dessert sensation aptly named The Stuff, which is marketed as a low-calorie, delicious treat that replaces ice cream. However, it's not long before people start to realize that there's something sinister about the stuff, as it begins to take over their minds and their bodies.
The Stuff. You have been warned.
This film kicks off without any of the classic warning elements that we would expect from a generic horror film. No credits or titles of any kind lead us in, as some old guy walks up to find the stuff just bubbling out of the snow, and immediately begins to eat it. And from here, my first and only real question was, why the fuck was that your first thought? This is the moment that leads us into this highly satirical experience that matches the concepts of Invasion of the Body Snatchers with The Blob, and delivers a product similar in tone to something like Starship Troopers. One of the things that makes this film so entertaining is its over-the-top premise. The idea of a dessert that takes over people's bodies may sound ridiculous on paper, but in the hands of Larry Cohen, it becomes a hilarious and terrifying reality that aims its sights on delivering a message about the madness of consumerism. The movie doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's all the better for it. Of course, a movie like this lives and dies by its special effects, and in that regard, the movie does not disappoint. The scenes of people's bodies being taken over by the stuff are both grotesque and absolutely hilarious, and even feel very reminiscent of scenes from The Blob. The practical effects are top-notch for the time, and the movie doesn't shy away from showing the full extent of the body horror. From exploding heads to giant globs of goo, The Stuff is a movie that revels in its gross-out moments, bringing it closer to the classic melt moments of the genre. Throughout the story, the stuff seems to change people the more they eat it. It begins to cause them to act like a collective that yearns to spread, forcing everyone to consume the stuff as much as possible. It's not just another mindless horror comedy. It's also a sharp satire of consumer culture and the food industry as a whole. The movie takes aim at the way that marketing can manipulate people's thoughts and desires, sort of twisting them into mindless drones with only one goal: to obtain more and more. The best part is that the stuff in the film is marketed as a health food, but in reality, it's as far from that as possible. This happens in real life. The movie also tackles issues of corporate greed and the dangers of unchecked capitalism at the same time. Speaking of consumerism, wouldn't you like to consume some beautiful movie-related art to fill that void in your life? Well, our sponsor Movie Palette can help with that. Movie Palette is an eye-catching and unique piece of artwork that holds a deep secret. Your friends and family will be intrigued by the fascinating story that each movie palette has to tell. Every stripe represents a color of a particular scene in the movie. Each stripe is put in chronological order to give you a perfect representation of your favorite film in one stunning work of art. The effect is a gorgeous and accurate representation of the colors and vibrancy found in your favorite movies. As its secret is revealed, Movie Palette is sure to become a conversational piece, as you try to guess which colors represent which scene. The best part about these for me is that it's a piece of art that showcases the visual look of a film, through the captivating color palette that makes it capture our imaginations. Not often do we see the color of a film so beautifully celebrated, which is why ETF has partnered with Movie Palette to bring you this exclusive offer. Head on over to moviepalette.com, pick the movie palette of your favorite film, and use the promo code EMBRACE15 at checkout to get 15% off your purchase. That's EMBRACE15 to get 15% off your purchase from Movie Palette. And now, back to the video. The cast of the stuff is also worth mentioning. Michael Moriarty plays Mo Rutherford, a disgraced FBI agent who is hired by a food company to investigate the stuff. Moriarty's performance is a highlight of this movie, as he plays Mo as this charming rogue who is always one step ahead of everyone. The rest of the cast is solid as well, including Andre Markovici as a marketing executive and Paul Sorvino as a militia leader who is convinced that the stuff is a communist plot. There's an incredibly wacky cheesiness to this whole film. The performances are zany and a bit over the top. The kills are hilariously ridiculous. The film utilizes these fake ads for the stuff throughout and heavily focuses on the constant advertising of it everywhere. Painted billboards, signage, grocery store displays, and commercials equipped with hilarious jingles. The movie moves along at a very brisk pace, never lingering too long on any one scene. This can make the narrative a little hard to follow at times, but the result of this choice is a film that never gets bogged down in its own plot or humorous elements. The script is also cleverly written, with plenty of witty one-liners and memorable moments. Some of the acting can be a bit much at times, and the satire can feel a little heavy-handed. There are also moments where the movie's low budget is painfully obvious, such as when the stuff is represented by clearly visible foam. But despite these flaws, the stuff is still a highly entertaining movie that is worth watching for horror fans, and fans of satire alike. It's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, but still manages to deliver plenty of scares and laughs. And while it may not be a masterpiece of the genre, it's a cult classic that has earned its place in horror movie history. I have to give The Stuff a B+. This is a movie that deserves to be seen by anyone who enjoys horror comedies and sharp satire. Its over-the-top premise, impressive special effects, and solid cast make it a movie that is both entertaining and thought-provoking. And while it may not be for everyone, it's definitely a cult classic that has earned your attention. Well, friends, that's going to bring this video to an end. If you enjoyed this one, please consider lending your support to a struggling puppet and his channel by subscribing over on Patreon, so that we can keep bringing you more content like this for the foreseeable future. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.